Alrighty. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Lit Laugh Lounge. We're reading A Court of Mist and Fury, and we just read chapters. Sorry, we're tired. 26 through 30.
I'm going to a chocolate covered pretzel.
Did I read 30? Oh Lord. It's okay if I didn't, because I mean I'll know what happens. That's okay. Does it start here?
Yeah.
Okay, so the adder tries to take Feyre, and she just kind of like limp bodies on him. He's like, "Yeah, you're coming easy." And then a force of black hits the adder, and it's Rhys, and he showed up. He's like, "Ha ha ha, loser! Tell me everything you know." Oh. And basically, that King of Hybern knows that Feyre exists, and he wants her, and he tracked her to the human lands. And they get a little bit more information about it. Basically, he's got a lot of armies and all that. He doesn't know about Jurian. He doesn't know anything about the Book of Breathings. And then Feyre finds out that Rhys actually did this on purpose. Used her as bait, and so she tackles him, and he's like giggling about it, and she's like, "Don't touch me! I don't use me as bait ever again."
He thinks this is a joke, and she's like, "This is not a fucking joke.
Yeah, and
this ain't a joke."
And then he realizes, he's like, "Oh shit, sorry."
My bad.
And then moving on. Oh yeah, she winnows for the first time, and that's when she attacks him. And then Feyre goes back to the townhouse, and then Rhys comes back and tells her about the interrogation of the adder. And she's like, "Show me." And so he does. He lets her see her memories. And yeah, the adder doesn't know much.
Kind of useless.
He's very useless, and he just tells Azriel to beat the shit out of him and drop him back off on the border of Hybern.
Literally, he's like, drop him in the ocean, and the adder's like, please, no. And Azriel's like, yeah.
And then so Rhys comes back and apologizes again. And then she's like, "I have a letter to write." And she writes a letter to Tamlin, basically saying, she goes, "I'm safe, I'm cared for, all is right in the world, I left on purpose.
I'm not coming back.
Don't come looking for me." Like, don't come my phone.
Don't come by my house. We're over.
Yeah. She has a home like that, and Rhys is like, "Are you sure you want to send this?" And she's like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
And so he sends it. And then they have a little, she's still upset at Rhys, and he kind of like tries to give her a peace offering, but she also wants to be different than just like moping around. So she's like, "Well, you're ever going to show me this damn city at night?" And he's like, "Damn, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you the city at night." So she goes, I feel like I'm jumping up or something. They go to the club.
They go to the club. They do go to the club, like literally. They go to the club, like literally. Mm-hmm. We finally got Feyre to go to the club, guys, and this time she remembers it.
Mm-hmm. So Amren comes and talks to Feyre, and Feyre tries to give back her amulet, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, thanks. That had no value to it." And she was like, "What?" Amren lied, so that's cool.
Love it for her.
And then the Wraiths were also there when Amren walked in, but they like disappeared.
They don't like her.
They don't like Amren, and apparently they report back everything Amren does to Azriel. So they also, at the same time they worked for Rhys, they worked for Azriel. Apparently Azriel trained them, so that's interesting. And then Az keeps tabs on Amren, and then Feyre gives Amren the necklace. Oh, this adorable chef. Oh, what's your name? Okay, so they go to dinner in Velaris, and they're having a grand old time. The lovely little restaurant owner is talking about all the great spices they're getting now that they can trade again and get like spices and stuff from the outside world, instead of just what comes from Velaris. And Rhys is like, "No worries, you'll keep getting your spices.
Don't worry, girl.
You worry.
If I want to eat, I'm gonna get you them spices."
Yep. And then Feyre's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so nice. Everyone's chatting and having a good time." And the store lady and the restaurant lady is like, "Do you like the food, darling?" And she's like, "I feel awake. I feel awake." And Rhys is like, "Oh." And then afterwards, they're all so full that they're stumbling out of this restaurant.
She brings Amren a goblet full of blood.
Goblet full of blood.
Spice blood.
It's spice, yeah. delicious.
Mm-hmm.
We love when they're inclusive.
Literally.
Oh my god, Amber is you with your gluten allergy.
We're just too cool for school.
Mm-hmm.
She's so cute.
And then, so after the restaurant, Moore decides that she needs to go dancing.
She's just like me for real.
She drags Asriel there. More like Asriel very willingly volunteers. And Cassian's the one that's getting dragged. And then she's like, "Y'all two come in," and they're like, "Nah." And so then Rhys and Feyre take a little walk. Rhys tells them a bit about like his sister and the backstory of Valeris, more about the story of exactly how it formed and what High Lord decided to make the change. That's great. And then all of a sudden she hears a band, and the band is playing the little tunes, and she's like, "That's the band I heard under the mountain."
Gasp!
You said
gasp by gust.
And she's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, you were breaking. I didn't know how to save you.
So I gave you music."
So I gave you music. And she's like, "I saw the night court." He's like, "I didn't send you images of the night court." But
she was just hallucinating those.
Yeah. Oh, and then she's going to bed that night, and they start flirting with each other, sending messages back together about licking. That was interesting. It was also very, very openly flirtatious from Feyre's side, which is interesting because we have not seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
She sleeps through the night successfully. Feyre and Cassian train, and Rhys train with them. Feyre finally gets angry about Tamlin. She finally says it should have been her
who died under the mountain instead of the people she killed. Oh, you didn't read this chapter.
Yeah, no, I was like, huh?
Yeah, so Feyre and Cassian fight each other. They're like doing their little sparring gig, and Asriel and Rhysand are fighting with each other because Asriel went to the mortal world, the mortal continent, and he couldn't get through the mortal queen's shields, and he's really fucking mad about it. Mm-hmm. So he comes back and he has a little piss baby fight with Rhysand, who's also very mad about something, I don't know what. And Cassian's like, he's out of shape, and she's like, that's out of shape, and she's like oogling him. Mm-hmm. Eyeballs are in like full like boba mode, which TBH, I understand. These two winged shaped by the cauldron itself, yeah. Men.
She said, "Cauldron me," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
I was like, I get it, girl.
I get it.
Scrumptious.
It's just such a mouthful.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Oh my cauldron.
Oh
but
my
to be
cauldron.
In between two Illyrian warriors.
I got distracted. But anyway.
Me too, girl.
Woo! So then Feyre and Cassian are talking to each other as she's watching Rhys and Asriel fight each other. And he's like, "So how you doing?" And she's like, "Okay." And he's like, "You sure?" And he's like, "What about that letter you wrote to Tamlin?" And she's like, "I'll tell you about the letter when you tell me why you and Moore act so fucking weird around each other." And he's like, "Oh." But then he apologizes. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to come off that way. I asked Asriel about it because I needed to know about the letter from my own forces," which makes sense. If there's going to be a battalion coming from the fucking Spring Court, he would need to know that. He's like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it like that. It was my stupid way of asking if you needed to talk. So do you need to talk?" And she's like, "I'm fine." He's like, "Fine's good. Fine's great." And he's like, "Let's go punch." So he stands there with his little padded hands, and she's like hitting his hands, and she's just getting angry. And she's finally getting angry, and she's like, Tamlin is good, but he's not good for me. Tamlin fought for me, but I fought harder for him. And she's finally having this realization that, like, even though he's not evil per se, he's not for her, and he didn't do half as much as what she didn't sacrifice half as much as what she did. So she finally has this realization, and she's just hitting Cassian and hitting him over and over again. When she finally comes back, he's just standing there, and the pads are gone, they're burnt through, and he's like, "I'm okay. Oh. Do you need to hit again? Do you need to keep going?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "It should have been me."
Oh.
And then Rhys swoops in, and he does like a little curtain thing with his wings, like that you do around someone when they're changing. And he does that with his wings, and she's like, "It should have been me that died." And he's like, "I used to feel like that. You can either feel like that every single day and let it drown you, or you can learn to live with it. And then she's like, and now you're really looking out like Allison Hargreaves. Damn. Anyway, so then they have a whole moment where she's like,
Oh,
crying.
like from the Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
That's what we start talking about.
Oh, that
Every
was
time we
going
said
over my-
Allison, that's what we
I know, but I did not know that. That was going over my head. I'm so sorry for interrupting you. That just sunk in. Sorry. I'm sorry.
He's still shirtless.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. You look like Sid from Victorious. Oh? So was that his name? Sid?
Sinjin?
Sinjin. There we go. You not see the vision?
Listeners, I'm not okay with it.
Please chat. She's scared. You picked up. Yeah, he was shirtless. And that's all that's important about these chapters. We can go now. Shirtless. Anyway, that's where the bait in the winnowing talk.
Half naked more.
She hasn't moved on, and neither have I.
You know what? She's really real for being mad.
I wanted Feyre to punch the Azure. I feel like she deserved it.
Oh yeah,
And
she deserved to kill the adder.
She deserved to give him a little slap in the face for under the mountain before
But instead, all she
Azrael.
does is
Before Azrael
Take me.
steals him away. I'm like,
Mhm.
let her get a punch in. Let her go. Exactly.
We're married. This is abuse.
How many people am I married to nowadays?
Whore.
Okay. As long as I'm not Anne Anthony kind of whore. That one was mean.
I'm sorry.
Fucking cunt.
We're tired, guys.
The bait in the winnowing.
Oh yeah, that was.
You know, I thought she was really valid for getting mad.
Oh yeah.
I was
yeah.
actually really relieved that she got mad.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she had tried to logic her way out of it, she's not the kind of person to logic her way out of it, but I was really worried that she would pull I understand why you had to do it. And I was like, please, no.
No.
Being bait and not being told that you were bait, especially after everything she went through in spring court, that sucks ass.
Oh yeah.
And he knew that too, so
yeah, he fucked up, and she let him know.
And I every time he apologized, I was like, yeah, ask again.
You know,
beg, bitch.
for a second,
Grovel.
I was so worried that she's gonna be like, he's doing just what Tamlin did, but I was really glad the comparison.
Groveling.
Because you know how Tamlin just kept apologizing and apologizing and apologizing.
Yeah.
But
Never did anything.
they
about
never
it.
did anything about it.
Got her paint though. Can't
Uh-huh.
forget, got her some paint.
Reese has yet to give her pain, so
You know what he did give her music?
Tamlin 40 and Reese 0. So
What?
suck it.
I think it's the opposite.
No, because he hasn't given her paint yet.
Yeah. So
So Tamlin 40, Reese 0, because Tamlin's given her paint.
yeah,
Like
but
40
that's,
times.
yeah, but that's
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
I thought you were saying that Tamlin's getting 40 points.
Yeah, because he's given her paint. Obviously.
But aren't
She's
points
used-
normally a good thing?
Yes, and obviously the paint was what was going to fix her, Alana, because she just needed to paint her way out of her depression.
I know, but why is Reese getting 0 points?
It's sarcasm! It's sarcasm, guys!
really late. But yes. He just kept giving her paint. At least recently gives her variety. He's like, here, you can punch
Haley
something,
0, sarcasm 40.
or you can
You fucking bitch.
get paint, or you can listen to music instead.
What?
Wait, I know who I look like. That was that something Montoya. You killed my father.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah,
You know I met him
I know.
at the airport. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, I texted him there and we chat about this. I met him at the
saw-
airport.
The hair perfectly fell into a square. And I was like, oh my god, you killed my father. Prepare to die.
Why not shirtless wingman when I'm having a mental breakdown? Anyway, Mr. Montoya.
At least Rhysand gives fair like options.
Well, you don't want the option of only paint?
Well, he doesn't limit her to like.
All she needs is paint.
Well, he doesn't limit her to like only fighting or only like planning for war or only
Goose, all you
helping,
need is paint.
or only music or only discovery. He kind of just skips her a little bit of everything.
What one would say.
A
choice.
I was literally waiting for Shallon. Shallon?
Maybe it's time to call it a night.
I was gonna say for Fallon to shut the fuck up so I could say choice, but hey, Shallon.
Like, Shallon, how can I find this?
You see that guy on TikTok that worked at Publix, but he didn't know what a shallot was, and he had to call a manager to come key it in.
I spent so long looking for a single shallot.
It's 1:36 in the morning, and I think they cracked.
It's May the 4th. Oh my god.
Be with you.
May the 4th.
I've never watched Star Wars. But Pedro Pascal and his son, Baby Yoda. Oh my god, Goose. I know what we're gonna be for Halloween.
You're Grogu. No,
I'm Grogu. She's Pedro
That's
Pascal.
Mandalorian. Oh.
No, she's fucking Joel from the Last of Us, and I'm Grogu.
They were gonna say you wanted a little.
The infected?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm scared of zombies.
I thought she was gonna say Ellie. That makes more sense.
I don't want to be Ellie.
You don't want to be Ellie?
No, she's too important. I want to be dead in the zombie apocalypse.
Fair enough.
I'm not surviving.
What does that say?
The letter? The interrogation?
The club.
The club?
No, the interrogation.
That was the
Oh wait, no.
interrogation.
Yeah, if I get the first couple letters and the last couple letters, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he apologizes. They eventually head back to Valaris, is it?
Yeah, because that's when she's like, "Take me for a walk."
She's in a bad mood. He tries to apologize again, and he goes, "Hey." She's like, "Okay, are you ever gonna actually take me on a walk at night? Because for real, I'm still mad."
Maybe you could give her some paint.
So they go on a walk around Valaris.
Shallon said, "Shut the fuck up."
So they go on a walk around Valaris. And no, we skipped the interrogation part.
So Reese lets her see into her mind, and he goes, "Oh, Ator, I hate you because you hurt Feyre, and I want to splatter you on the wall, but I can't do that because I want to send a message, so I'm gonna dump you in the ocean."
Okay.
The ocean.
Well, he once he once again gives her. It's like y'all have never been up past 1:30 in the morning.
I do when I be at the club where Feyre is.
Feyre doesn't go to the club.
Feyre doesn't get to go to the club because she's not special.
She literally never goes to the club.
She goes to the club in the next chapter after this because I read ahead.
Oh,
So
that's a
spoiler.
I was like, that's
It's a flashback. It's 3 sentences, but
oh, okay, fine.
she does get to the club, guys.
Okay. Small mercies. Okay, well, Farrah was Reese was like, I can tell you the next time that I'm going to use you as bait, and she goes, yes, please do tell me. Also, what's happening? And he
Can I
goes,
use you as bait? I think you'd bet you're fine.
and then he goes, are you sure you want to see it? Because
Maybe
it's
I can
actually
fish.
quite awful. And then she goes, I would actually really like to see it. Thank you. And then he
We can do
goes,
that too.
okay, you can look into my mind and see what's occurring. And that's what they decide to do. Anyways, then after the fact, and he's like, once again, probably her mate, but whatever. Once again, after that, they go to take a walk around Valaris, and then, oh wait, no, where's the letter?
So the letter. So she comes to this realization after.
Is it after the?
Yeah. So in the interrogation, he's talking to Azriel about the situation in the spring court, and then once they get out of the flashback, Feyre's like, so what's the sitch? And he's like, there's no sitch. That's the issue. We don't know what the fuck is going on. And she's like, oh, I have a solution. I'm going to use my literacy skills. And she sends a letter.
Newly formed literacy.
Can you imagine if Tam's like, I don't believe this is her because she didn't know how to read or write?
Does he know that she doesn't know how to read or write?
Yeah, I think so.
I forgot.
I don't think he knows. I
feel like he's not aware that she's illiterate at all, though.
Tamlin?
Yeah, he never asked. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I forgot about that whole scene.
He should.
That was a long time ago for me.
That was a minute.
It was like 4 days ago. That was a joke. Sorry, that was mean.
All right, shall
Fucking illiterate bitch.
So
Get in the fucking club with Farah.
Damn it.
Okay. So I don't know if like Tamlin's gonna like believe she wrote the letter.
Who knows if Tamlin will even read the letter? Maybe he's illiterate.
Honestly,
you ever thought of that?
Honestly, he could have burned the letter if he saw it came from the Night Court.
Maybe Lucian burned it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Lucian can't read either because he's only got one eye. So.
Well, Lucian could have actually burned it just to protect Tamlin.
Well, his metal eye lets me see.
Oh, I forget about that. I forget he's not actually like.
So she writes
fully
this
blind,
letter,
like
and
half blind.
it kind of like cements the fact that she's never going to go back to the Spring Court, which is a little bit traumatic, I'm sure.
Get back together. Oh my God, Tamlin's hairstyles.
I thought you Joe Allen.
He's both.
Mm-hmm.
No,
But that's who the song is about.
we are never ever getting back together.
Like ever.
You go talk to
Your friends talk to my friends
talk to me.
It's about all of them at the moment.
Okay. And so, she kind of cements that she's never gonna go back to the Spring Court because she's like, okay, fuck this, I'm done. I'm over this. I'm gonna cut ties. And well, she had technically already cut ties by even accepting to go to Valaris, but like still, it's kind of just she wrote him the letter. She was like, we're done.
And then they go to the club, which isn't actually the club, it's dinner. But it is a nice dinner, and Amren gets to drink her spiced blood, which TBH sounds
Kind of good.
Kinda
It
good.
honestly sounds
It's kinda
kind of
just,
good.
like thick soup.
yeah, right?
But like I was also
Iron, you would never have a
She-
deficiency.
So true.
she was kind of just getting to
Well.
to know the
Mhm.
city in general. Remember when we were reading the selection and like what's her name? America would have moments with like the people and then Max would be like kind of like in awe of it. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Her saying the cringy line to like the chef, where she was like, oh my god, like your food makes me feel like awake.
I do like that line though.
I don't
because
hate the line.
Well, I like it.
I despise
Well,
that.
I like it because she says that it's stupid.
Oh, like immediately.
Immediately after she goes,
yeah.
this
She's
is dumb,
like,
but
it's
I
a-
don't know what else to
she's
fucking
like,
say.
it's a
And I'm like,
real-
real.
It's a really dumb way to say it. But like it kind of makes sense because can you imagine a chef comes up to you and they're like, well, what did you think? And then you're like, oh, well, it was
Good.
really good. Like,
Imagine if someone came out, how did you like the food? And I was like, I feel awake.
well,
Okay.
I kind of imagine it as her being like, well, I feel really awake. I feel like a better line would have been alive. But-
that's also just as cringy though.
Well, alive makes more sense than awake.
Nah,
Mhm.
she's waking up from her stupor, her
From
slumber, her pain. She's already been realized because she died. In case you guys didn't know that.
And so they have the soup and they have this all like they're all kind of talking and they're all friends and they have like it's like actually a really nice dinner. Like she
Yeah, I want to go to that dinner.
like Rhysand kind of says that he's gonna do everything possible to protect the people from having to deal with like the consequences of the war.
It just kind of sounded like it tasted
It did. It sounded like it tasted so good
good.
and spicy.
And the people were like, oh, like on the show was like, oh, like you don't need to do that for us, like as long as like everything's good. And then he goes like, no, like I want you guys to be happy. Besides, I really love the food here. And I'm like, oh my god, slay.
I bet they also have a choice.
The fact that they gave food to Amren, I really enjoyed that. I was like, oh, that's so
It's like
sweet.
no one leaves my house or my place hungry, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I was like, that's so sweet.
I love how she's slightly scared of her too.
Yeah, but that track.
respectful.
And then they when they're leaving, Moore's like, okay, well I can't. I ate too much, so I gotta go dance all this off. You should come with me. And I was just like, I'm gonna go with you. And then they're like, Cassian, come with us. And then Cassian's like,
Sure.
sure, why not?
He just wants to get.
But like,
drunk.
let it be known that like Moore's like, we should go, Azrael. And then like she gave him like puppy dog eyes, and he was like, okay, slay. Didn't even need a lot of convincing. He was just like, okay, whatever you say, Queen. And I was like, okay, weirdos.
I could do that to you.
And then they
You have an
left
answer?
to the club, and they're like, hey, Farrah, Rhysand, do you want to come? And then they're like, no. And then Farrah was
No.
like,
Because apparently they're both tired.
yeah.
So eepy.
So they're gonna walk back to the house, and they kind of talk about like the beginning of Valaris, how it came to be.
All the wards and shit. I do like that they added in there the whole piece of the wards and the spells that are on there stop the merchants from being able to talk about it, but also make them very good liars.
Yeah.
Which is kind of slick.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that.
Because I'm like, how do you explain the kind of art that you're getting from Valeris?
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, this is funny. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I enjoyed that little snippet we got. I really want the story of Valeris to come back for some reason. I want that to be more focal point. I don't know if it will, but I like that. I like the idea of like this very secret underground city being kept this very big secret by a bunch of high lords over the centuries.
By thousands of people.
Yeah,
Imagine
that's
that.
cool as fuck. And then
like it's also nice because like I'm sure there is crime, but like not like
it's me. I'm the crime.
Not like major crime, and like they don't really have to worry about like dying all the time.
That must be nice.
Yeah, I like the explanation of how the Night Court presents itself and the different types of darkness in lovers, darkness in fear, darkness in peace and sleep, and all these different things. Yeah. Which kind of ties back a little bit to not a lot, but a little bit to when she was describing death to the bone carver. And she was saying that death just was
calm, nice,
darkness, nice, dark. And I was like, oh, interesting.
Delicious.
Very similar to what Reese was describing. And then they're walking around the village, and she hears the music. The music that she heard
under the mountain.
Under the mountain.
When she was hallucinating.
And so Reese says, like, she was like, you said this to me. She wasn't even angry. I really liked that. I was like, thank God you weren't angry, because he was doing you, like, trying to help in whatever way.
Solid.
Yeah.
You're solid, bro.
He was like, I really wanted to help you. He looked genuinely like, he's, I think she described it as like, he genuinely looked like he just did not know what else to do. He was like, I just had to send you something. And she's like, and I saw the Night Court. And he goes, I didn't send you that. And let me tell you why she saw the Night Court. It's because they're connected.
But he didn't send it to her.
Exactly.
I think she just hallucinated it. She's like, I saw what I thought.
I think they're connected. They're soulmates, in my opinion. And then the note times 2.
Yeah, she's like, I want to lick that, and he's like, okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. They got home that night, and they were in that night, and they started sending each other flirtatious notes back and forth.
And then she burns the note.
And then he laughs.
He giggles.
Laughs down the hallway.
She doesn't have a nightmare that night. Well, she does dream about.
She does have a nightmare, but it's not enough to like wake her up.
Yeah, I think the note caught me off guard. I forgot that that's something that like happens in this book, and so when I got that the second time, and he was like, "So that licking thing that I did," I was like, "Whoa, wow!"
I'm so sorry. That was really gross to me.
He said a line that like made me laugh out loud, and I don't know what it was. I don't know books. I don't remember. But it was something funny. It was something very recent.
Was that the one where he was like, "You can rub me all over and I can"?
No. It was from the note. It was one of the things he said in the note where he was like, I don't remember.
Did he say that in the note?
In the first note?
Oh, there's 2. That's right. Yes. Sorry, I'm confusing my notes.
But I don't have the book, so I don't know what it is. But it was funny and it made me laugh, and I was like, "Girl, put the note down and go to bed, because stop telling him to lick things." And she did, in fact, go to bed. And then she had nightmares, but she didn't wake up. Which progress. And then we finally have our little training scene with Cassian, which I've been looking forward to. And you know what? They kind of ate. Although I just think because she hadn't like been describing so like vividly how attractive they were that it kind of just took me off guard when she was talking about like rippling muscle, and I was like, oh, okay, my bad. Sorry, I feel like I walked into something here. Like I know that I was fine walking in.
Well, the thing is, like she
strolled in.
She just really hadn't done that the entire
ran
book.
in.
So I was like, oh,
sprinted head first.
I was like, oh, we're here, which wasn't bad. I was just like, oh, okay.
And they got tattoos. They're yadded.
Tattoos.
Oh, he explained something about the tattoos.
They're yadded AF. They're like for luck and glory or whatever. Which slay. I want a tattoo for luck and glory. That sounds fun.
She connected it to her own tattoo that was like also like Illyrian markings, I think, and she was like, Oh, it's like Reese was trying to give her luck and glory before she encountered Amara. Amaranth, sorry.
I want a cool tattoo like that. They're all yadded. I forgot they're yadded. How did I forget that?
I think it's because the fan art doesn't always depict them shirtless. Yeah, because normally like they're in their full like gear, so you don't really see it.
I love Cassian
because you can only see. Oh, never mind. Don't say that.
Anyway, I love Cassian. He's always been my favorite, I think, from this book series, just because he's such like a rounded out character because he's the funny one of the group. He's like the loud one, but he's also traumatized and extremely sensitive. Like he's a sensitive dude. He's like, I was trying to like make you laugh and like ask you about this issue. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And he fully apologized to Feyre when he like oversteps. And then he just lets her punch the shit out of him and burn him. And he's like, I'm fine, keep going. And I'm like, I love you, Cassian.
Well, also that, and going back to a little bit of the past episode, we his like confrontation with Nesta. I know that you guys were saying that he was instigating it, but I was like, I thought that was a really good defense. He was like, you made your sister go out there since she was young. You did not appreciate her at all. She left and she like died for my people because he made that up. He's like, she died for my people and she's doing everything she can to help me once again. And I'm not gonna sit here and let you disrespect us.
And I think he's really good at just calling people out on their shit.
And I love him.
And like I appreciate that because I'm like, yes, call people out because he's Lucien but with a backbone. Like Cassian would call people out. He would totally call somebody out.
He does give a Lucien from the first book because Lucien in the second book is not the same.
Yeah, like Cassian is like, I'm gonna call you out, and I just think he's a better. I think it's really interesting that like both Tamlin and Rhysand have like a sort of comic relief, and I say that with like quotation marks. It's not. I don't think they're actually just comic relief.
They have a loud mouth,
but that like these loud characters or whatever that like are extremely loyal to this High Lord, but like the difference in how they're treated by their High Lords.
One could say they're foils.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. I like Cassian as a character. So like Azriel as a character, there was a moment where Rhys was like, when we were in Rhys's head because we were doing the torture scene. Sorry, this is going back a little bit. And he was like, Rhys was thinking about as compared to Cassian, and they're like, oh, like everyone thinks that Cassian's like a loose cannon. But the thing is that sometimes like Az like does things that like I don't really.
Yeah, he was saying that like Cassian is like
predictable.
In the way that they're scared of Cassian, but they don't realize they should also be scared of Azriel because like Azriel's like the silent scary.
Which I've always been a fan of the silent scary. Like I think those are usually the really cool characters because their motivations are less clear or whatever.
So you don't know how far they'll go.
Like for example, if you have a hot-headed character who murders and goes on killing sprees, you know that he's a hot-headed character who goes on murder sprees. So like you know what to expect when something goes wrong. But if you
haven't seen someone angry before, you don't know where they'll go.
The calm, cool, collected character that kind of just becomes a weapon at times. Testy. I kind of like that. That entire scene is really sweet.
Which one?
Cass kind of just letting her steal with it.
Punch him?
Well, yeah, like it was sad. Like it was kind of just like sad. But like you were like, at least he's giving her the space to do so because Lucien didn't. Like if we're gonna talk about foils, like Lucien didn't let her. He was like, I'm sorry, but like like Tamlin's like really going through it, and like he kind of just kept making. I know that like he was doing his best, but his best was not good enough in terms for what Feyre needed.
Because if Rhys mistreated Feyre, 100% Cassian and Azriel would be on his ass and getting Feyre out of whatever situation.
Yeah. So like. To have that scene where he's like, absolutely get angry, do whatever you need to do. I don't care. Yeah, keep going until you literally can't anymore. And then I really like Rhys trying to give her the privacy in his wings. Like I like that.
The tent you do at the beach when someone has to change with his wings.
A little cocoon. I like that.
I'm like, ugh.
You just squat and
It was so
pee
nice when she
and-
finally fucking said it out loud, though, because she's the entire book, like, she's been, like, talking about the fairies and, like, how they died and how she killed them and how it should have been her in her head. And I was like, oh my god, thank fuck she finally said it out loud. Because it's been driving me crazy. I'm like, girl, vocalize it, please. And she finally did, and I was like, yes, yes.
Also, I'm glad she like finally spoke about Tamlin because this entire time she's like, nope, can't think about that right now.
Yeah, like
because-
anyone mentions the spring court, and she's like, oh, that place, right?
What? Spring? I've never heard of that season.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, it doesn't Nesta make that joke where she's like, love how you like did everything for the spring court, now you're not even there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
now you're with another court.
Now you're with another court.
Not even there. And like obviously like it's supposed to be like that thing like oh like the irony, but like and you're supposed to feel like sad because like Feyre did give everything to the spring court and it was just he did not give her what she needed. But it's also that kind of like bro, like the kind of like anger that Feyre displays and she just wasn't allowed to display that at the spring court is kind of sad.
He fought, but she fought harder. You know that he was
Shakespeare. She was Shakespeare and he didn't know how to fucking read.
No, the he's like okay, and it's like she's broken on the inside or whatever the fuck.
Oh, I've seen that one. I don't like that.
No, I know it's a joke because it's so fucking
but
cringy.
Yeah. Well, the Shakespeare one works too.
Yeah. What is that line? The like she's broken and it's like he's something, and then in the parentheses it's
Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Oh my god, it's one like sentence, right?
Yeah.
And then it
yeah, it's broken up. That's them. Anyway, therapy training, it goes crazy, especially
okay.
she's broken, he's okay.
Sorry, I just had to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to search up Tumblr. She's broken, and then it worked.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much where we're at.
You know, therapy training session goes hard, especially when they're shirtless.
Solid chapters.
Solid shirtless.
That too, but solid chapters. I like everyone a lot more than I like them. Like I like Reese a lot more than I liked him, because
when he was evil.
Mm-hmm.
no, since like a few chapters ago.
Leviosa.
But yeah, I like that they're spending so much time with Dolores. Yeah. I've got predictions. I think that Az isn't going to be able to get through to the Queen people.
Doesn't believe him.
So, no, I think this is actually like a point of like problem for Az. And then Feyre's either gonna have to go back and try to recruit, I guess, like Nesta probably. It's either gonna be Nesta or Elaine. I don't see it being Elaine because Elaine has her like husband that she doesn't want to get involved with Faye. Nesta doesn't either, but Nesta might to protect Elaine. So I think Nesta's gonna end up. I just feel like Nesta's gonna end up being the
This is so giving you in Crescent City.
human correspondence. What?
It's just funny. Just every time you say Nesta's gonna show up, it reminds me of Alana in Crescent City going, this character is gonna show up. I know she is.
In the next
I know
chapter,
she is. In the next chapter.
She's coming, I know she is.
And she never did.
Yeah, but I'm like convinced that Nesta's gonna show up just because of something with Cassian. Anyways, I feel like Feyre has to confront Tamlin in person at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be this book or not.
I have no idea. My timeline's off.
And so if the King of Hybern knew that she was a reborn High Fae, then there's no reason to bring back Jurian.
I don't know why Jurian's being brought back. I like literally cannot remember.
Like I was just, do you get what? Because before,
No, yeah.
Because before we were like, oh, like he just doesn't know, but like he does know.
I assume there's something else with Jurian with the reason he wants him. I don't know it. I can't remember. But I assume there's another reason.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to kill him again. Who knows? Not me.
A lot
honestly.
of work.
Yeah, but like sometimes revenge is worth it.
Fair enough.
On that note.
I think that brings us an end to chapters 20. 6 to 30. It's late.
Welcome.
God,
No.
I love you.
Next week will be
31 to 35.
31 to 35, and we will be reading that. And
Lana
then
will read 30 to 35.
good job, Pookie Bear. Love you.
Follow us on all our socials.
Pick me, choose me, love me.
Bye, guys.